Alright, what is going on, guys? Welcome back to the CSO YouTube channel. My name is Mousy, and today I'm bringing you a ZVP featuring one of our very own CSO players. Starting in the bottom left side of Altitude, we have none other than our red Zerg for Team CSO. It's Keretapir, also known as K2, as I'm gonna refer to him sometimes. And his opponent is going to be our blue Protoss in the top right side, representing no team, at least on this particular name. It's going to be DontKillMe. Alright, so this is a diamond level gameplay, and right away we see a forge opener, and Keretapir is going. Oh, he's not going to scout it. Oh, this is actually going to be painful. Okay, he's going to scout it eventually. Forge is going to finish, and that means Keretapir needs to pull a couple of drones, I think. Yep, he's going to just do that. First cannon is going up. These drones are going to be enough to actually deal with this. Hopefully in time for both cannons. He needs to pull more drones, I believe. Yes, he's going to pull 3 more. Right away, starting off with a cheeky cannon rush. So, always love to see it on the diamond level. It's always nice to see how these lower level players can deal with this. Now, this second cannon is going to get dealt with, hopefully. Ooh, this is going to finish up and just... Keretapir is going to lose a couple of drones here, but he can actually get this this third cannon, hopefully. Okay. Now he needs to just bounce from cannon to cannon. Oh, but one of the cannons is going to finish up. Like, there is no way to stop this cannon rush anymore. That means a bunch of drones are going to fall, especially this cannon right here. Only lost the shields, so that means that's 1. Actually, they need 3 shots, so it's kind of nice for Keretapir. Obviously, the region that Zerg units have on creep is actually helping them to deal with this a bit easier, saying his drones need 3 hits from a cannon. In the meantime, we have a single gas on this Protoss side. And how many workers? There's 19 workers versus 13. Finally, the probe goes down. That means this cannon rush is going to seize its job. Drones are being pulled back. Everything is going to get cleaned up. And Keretapir barely loses anything. 6 drones for 6 cannons. There's the well-played smiley face. Single bracket smiley face from our Protoss player. As it goes into double assimilators, or getting the second assimilator rather. 2 gateways and a photon cannon for defense. Now Keretapir needs to take a couple of decisions here. What do you go for first? Do you go for a 2 base timing? Do you go for some kind of third base and try to macro it? I believe that a second one is going to be the better option, though usually it's like you take some damage from the cannon rush. 6 drones is not that big of a deal, especially how many cannons there were there, and I believe a bunch of them were like kills. So look at that, 1200 resources lost in a 4-minute game already. A third of it of the Zerg, and that is 6 drones. That's probably the more painful one, the 6 drones, but Keretapir actually held it close to perfection. Now there's a layer incoming, so I'm really curious what we are going to see. What the follow-up is going to be from the Protoss, that is also an interesting factor always. Now you have Zealots and Stalkers being produced. Okay, doesn't want to show the tech, I believe. Has the money. He has the money. Okay, he's gonna go for an expansion. Kind of like that from the Protoss. Just not staying on a single base. I mean, what can you do off of a single base, right? You can have like probably one tech building and 4 gateways, and that's it. That's like if you have like nice saturation, but workers have been produced up to 24, 25 workers. So that means there has to be some kind of a follow-up, right, of a second base or so. Now, there's still no tech choice from the Protoss. Warp Gate is being researched, so we potentially could see some ground toss action here. In that case, I wouldn't mind adding... Oh, never mind, there's a Stargate. Okay, that doesn't mean too much at this point. We'll see what the actual follow-up in the first unit is going to be. I don't want to say it's a typical cannon rush follow-up with the Sky Toss. There is a defensive cannon and shield battery. The Protoss is in a playable position, but Keretapir is ahead. Spire is going to be the tech choice from Keretapir after that layer finishes, which I kind of like, to be honest. There's gases 3 and 4, as well as a third base. And I also wouldn't mind a fourth base, to be fair. You could grab one of these lings and just go up the ramp and maybe see that there is an expansion here. I believe you could actually... This cannon should not cover the whole ramp. Maybe it does. I think it does. But probably you could get away with speedlings and a single shot from a cannon. Okay, and there's the Void Ray. Oh, and there's the Fleet Beacon. Just as I was looking at the production tab, there's the Fleet Beacon and the second Stargate. So where's the second Stargate? It's in the back of the main base. And Keretapir is actually just keeping links here, just seeing that everything is cool and dandy, just seeing that there's no corner bases. I mean, honestly, this is beautiful. The only two bases that Keretapir doesn't have vision of are these two, but he has two links. Oh, and now he's going to scout the Fleet Beacon. Oh, he even clicks on it. Very nicely done by K2 there. So that means now K2 has the advantage. What do I mean by that? Yeah, it already has a blind spire, or blind. I don't know if it was blind. Like, I believe he saw this whole shenanigan, this whole shebang with the Stargate, or just felt like it. Maybe he just wanted to go for the spire altogether. I know Keretapir likes to go for MUTAS as well, but in this case, I would suggest Corruptors maybe, because it's going to be the typical Sky Toss follow-up from DontKillMe. Third base is not yet being saturated. I wouldn't mind that, honestly. There's 10 larvae. There's only 47 drones, which I know it's 10 workers ahead still, or 8 at this point. Ooh, look at that. 12 mutas being fired up. And now, honestly, with those 12 mutas, you can go harass, and I would love to see rather, a 4 base go down, and I would love to see more drones being produced. Oh, look at that. So we have +1 air, we have carriers in production, and the Twilight Council. I'm not sure if I get what this is. I'm wondering, do you... No, you only need a Fleet Beacon for additional air upgrades. So, unless you're planning to go for some kind of Templar Archives, which is quite gas heavy off of 2 bases with double Stargate carrier. Let's just say that is close to impossible to pull off, unless your opponent just sleeps on the keyboard. So yeah, unless that is the case, it's going to be really, really useless. And there it is, Templar Archives coming up for DontKillMe. I don't think you can sustain this on 2 bases. You need a 3rd base ASAP. Like, Keretapir already going for his 4th, so both players are just staying at home. DontKillMe tries to clean up some kind of overlords. There's more mutas, and there is +1 flyer carapace as well. Something you don't really see that often these days, I believe, because usually, probably in the late game, but usually it's like Corruptors against the mass Sky Toss. I don't know, maybe Mutas versus Phoenixes could be a thing? Muta versus Muta? Muta versus Bio? Pure Marine? I don't know. I'm sure there's not going to be too many options for +1 air carapace. And there we go. Storm. Am I a genius or what? Like, I'm reading these same or close to similar MMR Protoss players like a charm. like a book. So I see a pylon here. I expect there could be some kind of expansion coming up. There's a slight oversaturation on the side of DontKillMe. Main base is already mining out at 10 minutes, obviously. So we have 23 MUTAS. We have a double Evo coming down and 4 more MUTAS. Keretapir is really far ahead here, and he's going to dive here onto these probes. He's going to massacre a lot of them. He might even catch a carrier here. Ooh, question is, can he do it? Is there a battery overcharge being popped here? No, it's not. Not yet, at least. There's only 15 MUTAS left here on the battlefield. 4 more are going to join really, really soon. A couple of Lings might just try to go in. No, it's going to actually look for a third base. Sees there's none. And while having vision of every other single base. Except for these two. I don't know why. He just hates those bases. No, actually, I'm just kidding. Obviously, the Protoss would not want to take a risk and expand there. If they do and get away with it, props to them. They're not the ones winning the game, but their opponents the ones throwing it. 34 workers to the 64 of the Zerg. Yeah, this game is kind of over, in my opinion. Unless Keretapir throws away every single Muta and all of his units at once and just cannot remax in time. Okay, Templar Archives is going to go down. No more Templar opportunity. There is Storm though. He needs to be careful. He needs to either split the Mutas or do something. Storm is not being casted yet. He's waiting with the Storms. Oh, but a bunch of Mutas are falling. There's still 25 on the battlefield currently, and the Lings are going to go into the natural. Let's see if they can actually capitalize on something here. Oh, but that cannon is too protected there. Oh my goodness, Keretapir, no, not like that. Templar Archives is being remade. There is no hive on the side of the Zerg, so no adrenal yet. +1/+1 for the ground with melee hasn't been finished. And Keretapir goes for 52 additional Lings. So Ling Muta, I wouldn't mind a Baneling Nest, honestly. Baneling Nest would be so clutch, honestly, if you ask me. There's a macro hatch here, so we have 5 hatcheries. 5th base could come in. There is... Does Keretapir know about this 3rd base? Yes, it does. That is really nice scouting from our Zerg. Still have that double Stargate production, but you can see that the Protoss cannot afford it. Like, this Protoss army is not going to grow too soon. That means if Keretapir decides to just go for some kind of pressure here, just to deny the base and everything, that would be quite important to do in the next minute or minute and a half. Like, if it gives space to the Protoss with this low economy, then the technicality of the Protoss army will outgrow the Zergs. That's going to be really, really painful. So, obviously, as a Zerg, you don't really want to get to that position. Now, Hydras are being the next deck of choice. Not a bad choice here, but I still would prefer some kind of Corruptors, at least a couple of them. Also, Vipers could be a thing, so Hive should be a priority. Finally, we have a 5th base. Now we have the Mutas on the right side and the Lings on the left side, or the south and the north, whoever prefers which. Okay, so Mutas should dive into the main, and Zerglings are being actually cleaned up. A couple of Zerglings go into the 3rd base, keeping the Protoss army distracted, and now Keretapir is going for the biggest Arctosis pylon of the century. Holy moly, a couple of storms are being dropped, but unfortunately no targets have been hit. Now Keretapir will just back off. It might lose an Overlord, but that's not going to be the end of the world. Actually, it's going to be quite a big deal because it gets supply block because of that. Now he gets onto that 3rd base, starts working on it, but he has to back off. With the Mutas, you really need to start fighting where the Protoss army isn't. And since the Protoss army is actually much faster, much slower, the Zerg army is much faster. That means you can actually do it without any issues, just avoiding them. Oh, but he decides to drop to jump onto them. A couple of storms are being dodged really nicely by Keretapir, actually. I have to admit, these were really nice dodges. And now the carriers are being exposed, but they're not going to go down. The mutas are getting cleaned up. 40 more mutas are being fired up. Honestly, I don't like the mutas anymore. Like, yes, you have upgrades for them, but still, like, investing to hydras, in my opinion. Investing to mass hydras, get some banelings, get some links, and just try to play it from there, because the Protoss army is still not that big. Yes, it has 48 army supply, but that is not because it's in masses. The biggest problem here right now is the Templars. A lot of them were killed, so not bad on the side of Keretapir, but still, I wouldn't mind if we would see banelings trying to go and run by with baneling speed, you know. +2 carapace and +1 missile on the way. More mutas are going to dive onto this base. Oh, but he needs to dive onto the mineral line. Now he needs to run while the carriers are not in position. It's only +1 air weapons for the Protoss, so not a bunch of anything here. And it's still only 3 bases, not even saturated. Actually, it's only like 2 bases worth of mining here that is efficient. Keretapir is on 6 hatcheries, if I'm not mistaken. Mutas are going to dive back in once again, but they need to get out of here. Those interceptors are going to sting a lot. Obviously, that carapace is now paying off against that +1, because basically it negates. So interceptors shoot twice, and every single upgrade is +2 damage from that carrier. And every single defensive upgrade that is and as an advantage for the Zerg is going to just make those carriers much less of a threat. Okay, Keretapir doesn't wait for +2 carapace, but looks like he's going to push in with this bunch of hydras. Mass hydras and lings are going to be the answer to destroying this third base. Obviously not a bad choice. +1 missile hasn't finished yet, so imagine if those hydras had +1 missile. Would have cleaned up this base much faster. Resources loss wise, we have, well, we lost 71 mutas. That is big for 1 carrier, 2 void rays, but 52 drones have fallen and only 6 on the side of the Zerg. So the last, oh my goodness, the last time DontKillMe was on the map, creep was nowhere to be found, and actually only a hatchery was planted. Now Keretapir is on 5 bases. He has mass hydras. He knows where the Protoss army is. There's no detection, so no creep can be cleared here. Oh, he needs to be able to split. He needs to take down those Templars. Oh my goodness, the storms are going to be huge on the side of DontKillMe. Cleans up all the hydras. Keretapir just throws away his army. Mega throws here on the side of Keretapir. But the legs are going to be a lot of pain here for DontKillMe. The ground army is slaughtered. Now the counterattack is in place. And once those corruptors pop, if they pop, I mean, they have to pop, right? Once those corruptors pop, it's going to be a totally different game here. That means there's going to be a bunch of trouble for our Protoss player here. It's going to target down the Spire. 7 more corruptors being fired up, and that's going to be plenty enough. Now the corruptors need to get in position together, and that is what's going to happen. Ooh, they start target firing down those carriers, and these corruptors are tankier. They're armored, and they have that +1 carapace. The +1 carapace actually saving Keretapir's back end. And Keretapir takes this wonderful game of PvZ. Yes, it wasn't the most action-packed, but actually it was an entertaining game. Props to Keretapir for defending that cannon rush. That was really nice. And of course, just almost throwing, but in the end pulling himself together and just massacring that Skytoss army of the Protoss. Okay, that's going to be it from us from CSO today. If you're interested in more casting from yours truly, check out the MousyCast channel. If you're interested in what I'm doing, usually check out my Twitch and my gaming YouTube channel, both in the description. Shoutouts to CSO, shoutouts to Keretapir, #WeAreCSO, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace out.